What if I told you the Holy Trinity has nothing to do with three persons in heaven, and everything to do with a three-step process for unlocking the divine power that lives inside of you? That might sound bold, but stay with me, because if you have ever felt that something is missing in your spiritual life, if you've ever felt a quiet, persistent sense that you are capable of so much more, that feeling is your soul trying to remember this lost inner map. Maybe it feels like you're standing in front of a locked door and your real life, the one filled with purpose and a deep sense of peace, is waiting on the other side. I want you to know that feeling is not a sign that you are broken. It is not a sign of your lack of faith. That feeling is the most honest part of you. It is your soul, trying to remember its own true design. A divine design that was hidden from us in plain sight. And today we are not just going to talk about that design, we are going to give you the key to unlock that door. But to use the key, you first have to understand how the lock was changed. You have to see the moment in history when the path inward was paved over, and humanity was handed a map that led everywhere but home. So you start digging into the history, and the first thing you find is surprising. The word Trinity, it's not actually in the Bible, anywhere. Then you discover something else. This idea of the Trinity that we all know today, this formal, complex doctrine, it wasn't taught by Jesus. It wasn't taught by his first followers, who lived in a state of direct, fiery connection. In fact, it was created almost 300 years later. And not in a place of quiet prayer, but at a tense political meeting called the Council of Nicaea, overseen by a Roman emperor who needed to control a fractured empire. They needed one official set of rules for this new, growing religion, and they literally took a vote on the nature of God. In that moment, a spiritual heist took place. A living, personal map for inner awakening was swapped for a complicated, official doctrine, and the consequences of that swap have echoed for centuries. The path to God was no longer a journey you could take inside yourself. It became a set of beliefs you had to get from someone else, a priest, a pastor, a book. Your own inner authority was replaced with an outer one. The key to your own power was taken, and you were told to pray to the locksmith. And this created a spiritual dependency that was passed down from generation to generation, a belief that we needed an outside authority to connect with God. But here's the beautiful part. You can't erase a universal truth. You can only hide it. And the original pattern of the Trinity is so fundamental, it's woven into the fabric of reality itself, from ancient myth to modern physics. And this is where we see two very different paths emerge. The first is the path of control. This is the system that was born from that meeting. It tells you that God is outside of you. It says you are born flawed, and you need an institution to save you. It operates on belief, dogma, and obedience. Its power comes from you believing that they hold the keys. But there has always been another path, the path of awakening. This is the path the mystics have always walked. It says that the divine is not outside of you, but is the very core of your being. It says you are not born flawed, but you have simply forgotten your own divinity. This path doesn't operate on belief, it operates on direct experience, gnosis, inner knowing. The path of control gave us religion. The path of awakening gives us liberation. The Trinity doctrine became the centerpiece of the path of control, but the pattern of the Trinity, that has always been the key to the path of awakening. So what is this pattern? This universal blueprint that the path of control tried so hard to obscure. Once you see it, you'll see it everywhere. This 3-in-1 blueprint, it's like a law of nature. The ancient Egyptians taught it as Osiris, the eternal source, Isis, the divine feminine energy that gives life, and Horus, the child reborn in the light. In Jewish mysticism, the first 3 steps of creation are the same pattern. Keter, the crown of pure potential, Chokmah, the spark of wisdom, and Binah, the understanding that gives it form. It's even in the simple structure of a family, the father, the mother, and the child born from their union. But the pattern doesn't stop there. The reason we're looking at this is to show you that this isn't just a spiritual opinion. It's a law of reality, like gravity, and modern science is now beginning to prove this ancient wisdom. We see it in quantum physics. There's the invisible field of pure potential, the active observation that gives it energy, and the physical reality that appears as a result. It's the same 3 steps, a universal law for how anything and everything is created. And here's the most incredible part. This isn't just a pattern out there in the universe. It's an exact mirror of the divine technology wired into your own brain. Okay, so how does this work inside you? Well, get this. The Trinity pattern is literally how your brain is structured. Think about it in 3 simple layers. At the very bottom, at the base of your skull, you have your instinctual lizard brain. This is the source level. It's the silent, powerful foundation. It runs your body without you thinking about it. It is pure, primal life force. Then you have your middle, feeling brain, the limbic system. This is the energy level. It's the bridge between your instinct and your thoughts. This is where your emotions, your intuition, your creativity, your sense of connection come from. It's the engine of your life. And finally, you have your top, thinking brain, the neocortex, the part you're using right now. This is the result level, where you create language, solve problems, and bring ideas into the world. Source, energy, result, right inside your head. The problem is, for most of us, these parts are at war. We get stuck in our thinking brain, filled with anxiety, cut off from our intuition. Or we get overwhelmed by our feeling brain, tossed around by emotions with no clear direction. But when you learn to connect them, when your thinking mind learns to listen to the wisdom of your feeling brain, which is powered by the deep life force of your source brain, you enter a state of flow, a state of genius. You become whole. So how do you do that, practically? How do you get these 3 powerful parts of you to work together in harmony? The great mystics left a clear 3-stage guide for this very process. This is the most practical part of our journey. This is the great work. It's how you move from theory to a lived reality. It happens in 3 stages. The first stage is recognition, connecting to your source. This is about finding the off switch for your busy mind. It just means finding moments of stillness. You can do it right now. Just for a second, become aware of the silence underneath my voice. Feel that deep, quiet background awareness. That is your source. It's always there. It's peaceful. It's infinite. Your only job in this stage is to practice returning to it, even for just 60 seconds a day. Sit and feel the silence. That's it. You are connecting with the Father within. The feeling of this stage is profound peace. It's the feeling of coming home. The second stage is circulation, trusting your energy. Once you start connecting with your silent source, something amazing happens. Your intuition gets louder. This is the energy level. It speaks in gut feelings, in creative ideas that pop into your head, in sudden urges to call a friend or start a new project. For most of us, our thinking mind immediately dismisses these nudges. The work of this stage is to learn to trust them. When you get an intuitive hit, don't argue with it. Just notice it. Get curious about it. You are learning to listen to the Holy Spirit within. The feeling of this stage is excitement and flow. It's the feeling of being guided and inspired. The third stage is manifestation, being the result. This is where you bravely act on the intuitive energy you've learned to trust. You make the phone call. You write the first page. You have the difficult conversation. You bring the energy from the invisible world into the visible world. You become the result. You become the light. You become the sun, the living expression of your deepest divine self. This isn't about huge, grand gestures. It starts with small acts of courage, small acts of creation. The feeling of this stage is purpose and fulfillment. It's the feeling of being a creative force for good in the world. Recognition, circulation, manifestation. This isn't a one-time thing. This is a daily practice. This is the path of living as a fully integrated divine human being. Before we continue to the final secret, pause for a moment. If this isn't just information to you, if it feels like something ancient stirring inside, like remembering what you already are, then you're ready. And if you're seeking others on this same path, others who feel the fire returning, the codes awakening, we've created a sacred space just for that. You'll find the link at the top of the description. Not a forum, a circle, a remembrance. We'd be honored to walk it with you. And if the Trinity is beginning to stir within you, comment, "I remember the pattern." Let us know you're one of the ones awakening. But there's one final secret, the part that explains your ultimate purpose. The Trinity has 3 parts, but it needs a 4th element to actually come alive. That 4th element is you. Here is the final secret, the one that ties it all together. A power station can generate infinite electricity, but it's useless without a wire to carry the current and a lamp to shine the light. The station is the source. The current is the energy. The lamp is the result. But the wire is what connects it all and makes it useful. You are the wire. You are the sacred conduit. It's your consciousness, your physical body, your unique life that provides the grounding for this divine energy to flow into the world. Without a conscious being like you to experience it, the Trinity is just an abstract concept in the cosmos. With you, it becomes a living reality. It becomes kindness. It becomes art. It becomes healing. It becomes love. You are not just a vessel for the Trinity. You are the necessary fourth point that completes the circuit and brings its light into this dimension. And that light isn't just for you. It's meant to illuminate the path for others. It's meant to warm the cold places in the world. Your personal awakening is ultimately an act of service to the whole. Hearing this can feel like a deep relief, but for some, it can also be a little scary. It might feel like you're losing your faith. But what if you're not losing faith? What if you're just graduating from it? Hearing this can feel like a deep relief, but for some, it can also be a little scary. It might feel like you're losing your faith. But what if you're not losing faith? What if you're just graduating from it? This is a new kind of faith. It's not about believing in God. It's about knowing you are an expression of God. It's not about being saved. It's about realizing you were never separate in the first place. This is the faith of the mystics. This is the faith of the awakened heart. And it is your birthright. You have the map. The secret is no longer a secret. The power source of the universe is wired directly into your being. The only question left is, will you use it? Before you go, if this journey resonated with you, here are a few simple ways we can continue together. First, please give this video a like. It's a simple click, but it truly tells the universe and the algorithm that this message matters, helping it find others who are searching. Second, I have a question for you, and I would love to see your answer in the comments. After hearing this, what is one small, simple thing you intend to do this week to honor your own inner Trinity? Whether it's finding a moment of silence, trusting a gut feeling, or starting a small creative project, let's inspire each other. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next step on this path of remembrance. And finally, if you're ready for a deeper community, click that first link in the description to join our private group on Facebook. Thank you for being here. You were not meant to worship the map. You are here to become the living, breathing territory. Welcome home.